Hey guys, welcome to the Wave Crypto Club. In the last episode, we spoke about how the FOMC is meeting and they might soon be increasing interest rates by 0.5 to 0.75%. And yet they have done it. The announcement came out last night. The interest rate has been increased by 75 basis points or roughly 0.75%. We'll talk about this, the impact of that for you, and we'll also talk about what happened to Vault. There are some updates about Vault. We'll also talk about what happened to Vault, what does it mean for you, and what should you really be doing. Last night, the Fed released this statement that they are increasing the interest rates by 75 basis points. And why are they doing that? Well, they are saying that they want to strongly stick to the objective of returning inflation to its original 2% objective. What was the inflation rate last month? It was about 9.1%, not just in US but across UK as well. And Eurozone is also hitting an extremely high inflation rate. Considering that across the world inflation is increasing, the Fed had to take this stand, right? And they did this to tame the inflation down to 2%. From 9% coming down to 2% is a very steep fall. For that to happen, they will continue to increase interest rates. They are meeting again in September, and most likely they will increase the interest rates then as well. But here's a surprising thing, right? Nasdaq has seen one of the biggest one-day jumps since 2020 after the Fed rate hike. That's very interesting, right? But honestly, I was not surprised. I was actually expecting this. I saw a lot of traders take positions to reflect this. Why? Because everybody expected, the inflation numbers were so obvious that everybody expected that the interest rate hike will be at least 0.75%, if not 1%. There were people who thought it would be 1%, but it was this was so expected. So a lot of people took positions just for that. In fact, if you look at Bitcoin as well, Bitcoin is trading at about 23,000. It actually went up. Right? So it clearly indicates that everybody was so obvious. It was so obvious that, and everybody knew that this was going to happen. So a lot of traders around the world took the appropriate position. The fear and greed index is slightly moving up. It was 28 yesterday. It's 32 today. It is still in the fear zone. Still a buying opportunity basically. Now, when does the Fed actually meet? The Fed meets about 8 times in a year. You'll see the schedule here. The last time they met was in June, and then they met yesterday. So in the June press conference, they announced that they are increasing it by 75 basis points, and yesterday they announced the same thing. You can go down to this website and check out the announcement and know the details regarding the announcement. The next time that they will be meeting is September of 2021. September 20th and 21st. When that happens, it is likely that there will be another increase. Whether it will be 50 or 75 depends on what is the inflation rate for July and for August. Depending on that, the September numbers can seriously sway towards maybe 0.75 increase again. Right? So that's something that we need to watch out for. But this temporary high increase in stock prices or increase in crypto prices, that's just a temporary increase. It's not going to last. In the coming days, it will normalize, it will collapse back. I'm predicting that most likely sub 20,000. Probably this September hike announcement will trigger it to go down even further, and then it will consolidate. Coming to Vault, right? So the creditors started to take action against the crypto firm Vault, which last month said that their assets are worth only 330 million, while liabilities are worth over 400 million. And I read somewhere that a large majority, I think close to 90% or something, are retail users, not even institutional users. So average people like you and me who have invested their hard-earned money into Vault's financial instruments, and all of them are waiting to get their money back. So what's all this about? Well, if you go to their website, you will see in the FAQ section what they're talking about. So on the 4th of July, they announced that they would need a month-long moratorium. What does this mean? This means that for this period of 1 month that the court has granted them, nobody will be able to essentially send them any basically no action of the court can happen in this 1 month. This gives them like a breathing space to sort of fix their stuff. Right? That is what is expected. There are a few other questions here that I felt was very interesting, and some of which I actually felt sad. For instance, questions on how long are the withdrawals frozen for. Well, obviously, Vault doesn't know, and that's what they're clearly stating here. There's another question here that I noticed, that somebody said that, one of the frequently asked questions is, I have an emergency, I need funds to be withdrawn, can I do so? And they said you can't. This is very sad. A lot of people, from social media and other places that I read, a lot of people have put in a lot of their life savings into this, and while they're having an emergency, they're not able to get their own money back. That's extremely sad. Right? The situation is such that I really can't blame anyone, but that's a very sad situation. There's another question here, which is something that is a learning for all of us. Right? What happened to our Bidco insurance? So they're saying that rightfully the insurance with Bidco does not cover credit defaults and third-party liabilities. It only covers instances when funds are lost from our cold wallets. This is, Bidco insurance, or insurance was one way that all these platforms were trying to tell everybody that, hey, your money is safe. Right? But then I don't think they ever told us that, hey, your money is safe only under one condition, or only under these conditions, and your money is not safe if this happens. Right? This is not something that they probably told us, or at least not something that was highlighted anywhere as far as I'm aware. That is the sad part. Right? But this is a big learning for all of us, that even if a platform is advertising that they have Bidco insurance, or any insurance for that matter, it is your duty to check on what are the terms of this insurance. Does it apply for all kinds of situations, or is it limited to a certain set of situations? That's very important. Questions on when will Vauld complete the restructuring process, not really answered. How could what could restructuring means for your creditors? Well, this is what is important to you. So what is restructuring? Well, it means that they're trying to raise more venture capital. They are exploring alternatives to complete an acquisition. This is, there was one firm that had given them a term sheet, and they had 60 days to do due diligence. The third one is waiting for some of our deployed capital to be returned, because a lot of loans that they had given out have something like 11-month tenure and so on, so that they cannot be recalled immediately. So they're waiting for some of those funds to come back. And the possibility of converting debt to equity. What does that mean? It means that if you had if there was some debt that the company has taken, those debt holders will become equity holders. They will become shareholders in the company, right? I don't know if the debt actually means even you as somebody who has invested in this platform, through this platform. Not clear about that, but that's what debt really means here. Issuing our own token. Not sure how popular this is going to be, given that everybody knows that there is a $70 million gap. Right? Who would want to invest? I think that's like one of the most least likely scenarios. Develop a plan tied to our future financial position. Again, if the company itself is looks like might not be a going concern anytime soon, or might cease to exist at some point of time, if things go south, then 6 also does not seem like a likely possibility. Right? So the only possibility that I see is 1 or 2. If somebody gives them more venture capital, or if somebody acquires them, and like I maintained in the last video that I made on Vauld, 70 million is a huge delta. Anybody who puts in that money needs to recover that investment back and more for it to make financial sense to them. Will somebody take that risk? Will somebody put in that money? 70 is a huge number. Not very sure of that. If that does not happen, if none of these actually happen, then what is the most likely scenario? A haircut. You are mostly going to get a haircut on your investment if you have invested, let's say 100, and if they are able to liquidate all their assets at the price of the 330 million that they mentioned, then most likely you will get like an 82.5% of the money that you invested. About 17.5% is gone. That's the most likely. In fact, that's an optimistic scenario. The haircut could be much deeper. It could be 60%, it could be 70%. I don't know. But looking at all this, that seems like the most likely scenario. Right? Whatever it is, let's wait for more details to come out, and I'll keep making videos about it as and when it comes out. Till then, stay tuned. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button and tell your friends about it. Welcome to the Wave Crypto Club.